Welcome back to Elderly Smiles. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and click the bell icon to stay updated. Let's begin the discussion.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're diving deep today into a topic a lot of you have been asking about gut health. It's one of those things we hear about all the time, but it's kind of hard to grasp, just how much it impacts us, like really impacts our well-being.
It is fascinating, right? How it really does go way beyond just digestion. It's like this whole other world operating inside us.
Yeah, exactly. And today we're exploring how it affects things like our energy, even our mood. Can a wonky gut actually make you grumpy? We'll find out. Plus the link to chronic diseases, that's a bit scary, but important to understand.
It's true. The gut is often called our second brain.
Second brain, seriously. I've heard that, but what does it actually mean?
Well, think of it this way. You've got trillions of bacteria living in your gut. Trillions. That's like more stars than in the galaxy, probably. And they form this complex community called the gut microbiome, and they're actually talking to your central nervous system, constantly sending signals back and forth.
So they're not just hanging out down there digesting food, they're like running the show.
Pretty much. Through this network of nerves, they're influencing everything from digestion, of course, but also your immune system, even your brain.
Okay, now that's kind of blowing my mind. So if this microbiome gets messed up, that's when we see problems.
Exactly. It's all about balance. When things are in harmony, your gut's doing its job quietly and efficiently. But when that balance is disrupted, that's when you start to see those red flags.
Red flags like what? Give us some examples.
Well, something as simple as constipation or diarrhea, those are often the first signs that something's amiss in your gut.
Oh, so it's more than just an upset stomach. It's like a warning sign.
Right. Take constipation, for example. Your colon, which is responsible for removing waste, it's not working as well as it should be. So things get backed up, toxins can build up, and it can affect your whole system.
I can imagine. You'd feel sluggish, probably.
Exactly. You might experience fatigue, low energy. Even your skin can show signs of this internal struggle.
So a bad gut can actually make your skin look worse?
Well, it's all connected. And then on the other hand, you have diarrhea, which is like the opposite problem. It's like a flood washing away not just waste, but also those essential nutrients and electrolytes your body needs.
So that explains why you feel so drained after a bout of the runs.
Exactly. And all of this emphasizes how important it is to listen to your body. Those seemingly minor digestive issues, they're not so minor after all. They can be early indicators of a much bigger problem brewing.
Yeah, I think a lot of us are guilty of just ignoring those signs, hoping they'll go away on their own. But it sounds like that's a big mistake.
It can be. If you ignore those early warnings, it can pave the way for more serious chronic conditions down the road.
Okay, so we got to pay attention to our digestion. What else? The material we're looking at today also talked about chronic inflammation. Now, I'm a little fuzzy on how that connects back to gut health.
Sure. We usually think of inflammation as something that happens when you get injured, right? Like a sprained ankle or something. But it can also be happening internally, silently, especially in the gut. And that's where things can get tricky.
So, what's causing the inflammation in the gut?
Well, remember those trillions of bacteria we talked about? Sometimes the balance gets tipped in favor of the harmful ones, and when these harmful bacteria take over, they can trigger your immune system to go into overdrive.
And the immune system's supposed to protect us, right?
Right. But when it's constantly on high alert in the gut, it can start attacking not just the bad bacteria, but also healthy tissues and organs.
Wait, so our own immune system can turn against us?
It's unfortunate, but yes, that's the reality of autoimmune diseases, which are often linked to an imbalanced gut. Conditions like arthritis, lupus, even inflammatory bowel diseases like Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis, these can all stem from a gut that's in distress.
And those bowel diseases specifically, what's happening in the gut with those?
They cause damage to the lining of your intestines, leading to persistent inflammation. You get cramping, sometimes even bleeding. It's a really tough situation.
Okay, so ignoring gut health can have some serious consequences. Got it. But one thing I was surprised by, the material mentions a connection to skin health. I never would have thought those two were related.
It might seem surprising, but think about it. Your skin is your largest organ, right? And it's a major pathway for elimination. If your gut isn't processing toxins efficiently, your body's got to get rid of them somehow, and one way it does that is through the skin.
So breakouts, rashes, those could be a sign of a gut problem, huh?
Exactly. Think of it like your gut trying to send you a message. Like, hey, something's off balance here. And conditions like acne, eczema, psoriasis, those can all be outward signs of that internal imbalance.
So instead of just reaching for that acne cream, we should be looking at what's going on in our gut.
Absolutely. Addressing the root cause, that imbalance in your gut, that's crucial for achieving lasting, healthy skin.
Okay, fascinating stuff. Now, for something I find especially intriguing, the gut-brain connection. The idea that an unhappy gut can actually make you feel, well, unhappy. How does that even work?
This is an area of research that's really exploding right now. We're learning so much about how the gut and brain communicate with each other. There's this direct pathway called the gut-brain axis.
So what's traveling along this highway between my gut and brain?
A lot of things. But one key player is neurotransmitters. These are chemical messengers that influence things like your mood, your sleep, even your focus.
Okay. And the bacteria in our gut, they play a role in producing those neurotransmitters.
You got it. So when those bacteria are out of whack, it can disrupt the production of those crucial brain chemicals.
So that's why sometimes you just wake up feeling anxious or down, even if nothing's really wrong in your life. It could be your gut messing with your head.
It's definitely a possibility. Serotonin, that's often called the happy hormone, well, a lot of it is actually produced in the gut. So if your gut bacteria are off kilter, your serotonin levels could be too.
Wow. This is really making me rethink my whole view of gut health. It's clearly about so much more than just digestion. It's like fundamental to our overall well-being.
It really is. And the more we learn about these connections, the more we realize how powerful we are in taking control of our health.
Yeah.
It's amazing, though. We're not just stuck with whatever gut we've got. It's not like, oh, well, this is my gut, deal with it. You can actually improve your gut health.
Okay, that's good to hear. But how? Where do we even start? It seems kind of overwhelming.
Well, think of it like a garden. Your gut is like this inner garden that needs tending, the right care to flourish.
Okay, I like that analogy. So what do we do to nurture our inner garden? What are the gardening tips for our gut?
Well, first things first, we got to feed those beneficial bacteria, right? They're the good guys in our gut and they thrive on fiber.
Oh, so that's why fiber is so important. It's like food for the good bacteria.
Exactly. Think of fiber as a prebiotic. It's basically their food source.
Mm-hmm.
So when you eat plenty of fruits, veggies, whole grains, you're basically giving those good bacteria a feast.
So load up on the produce aisle. Got it. What about fermented foods? I've heard those are good for the gut too, right?
Oh yeah, fermented foods, they're like sending in reinforcements. They're full of probiotics, which are live beneficial bacteria. So you're adding good guys to the mix.
So it's like instead of just feeding the good bacteria that are already there, we're adding more good bacteria to the team.
Right. It's like, imagine your gut is this battlefield, good bacteria versus bad. And fermented foods, they're like sending in the elite troops to fight for the good guys and restore balance.
So yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, all that good stuff, that's all helping to win the battle in our gut.
Exactly. They can be a real game changer.
Awesome. So we've got our prebiotics and our probiotics, feeding the good guys and sending in reinforcements. What about the bad guys? Are there things we need to, weed out of our gut garden?
Oh, definitely. Sugar and processed foods, those are the weeds. They disrupt the balance of your gut bacteria. They basically feed the bad guys and make them stronger.
So it sounds like a whole foods diet. That's the foundation for good gut health.
Absolutely. It's like giving your gut the best possible soil to thrive in.
Okay, makes sense. But it's not all about food, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, stress plays a role in this whole gut thing too, doesn't it?
Oh, for sure. Chronic stress, that can really wreak havoc on your gut. When you're stressed, your body releases all these hormones like cortisol, and that can actually change the makeup of your gut bacteria, make it more favorable for those harmful bacteria to flourish.
But even if I'm eating all the right foods, if I'm super stressed out, it can still mess up my gut.
That's right. It highlights how important it is to take care of your mental and emotional well-being, not just focus on the physical stuff.
So what are some good ways to manage stress and, protect our gut from those stress hormones?
Well, finding ways to relax, unwind, that's key. Things like meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, even just spending time in nature, those can all help calm your nervous system and reduce those stress hormones.
Those are all good ideas. What about sleep? I feel like that's always important for everything, but what about for the gut specifically?
Oh, sleep is crucial. That's when your body repairs and restores itself, and that includes your gut. Getting enough sleep gives those beneficial bacteria a chance to thrive and do their job properly.
So skimping on sleep, that's basically giving the bad bacteria a leg up.
Pretty much. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of good quality sleep every night. It's one of the best things you can do for your gut.
Sold. Sleep it is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, last but not least, exercise. Does that play a role in gut health as well? I mean, we know it's good for our heart and all that, but
Yeah, it's good for the gut too. Exercise helps stimulate digestion, keeps things moving along smoothly. That helps reduce the risk of constipation and other digestive issues.
so a sedentary lifestyle, it's not just bad for our waistlines, it's bad for our gut bacteria too.
Right. Exactly. Finding ways to move your body regularly, that's a simple but really powerful way to support gut health. Even just a brisk walk every day can make a difference.
Wow, this is a lot to take in. It's great information, but I gotta admit, it can feel a bit overwhelming. Where do we even begin?
I get it. Don't try to overhaul your entire life overnight, It's not about making these drastic changes. It's about finding small, sustainable steps that you can incorporate into your daily life.
So what's one small step our listeners could take today to start improving their gut health? Like one thing they can do right now.
One really easy thing is to swap out sugary drinks for water. That one change alone can make a big difference in the balance of bacteria in your gut.
Okay, that's doable. What about something for stress management? Since we talked about how important that is.
How about setting aside just 5 minutes every day to practice deep breathing? You can do it anywhere, anytime. It's a quick and easy way to calm your mind and reduce those stress hormones that can affect your gut.
Love it. 5 minutes of deep breathing, I can do that. These are great tips. They make taking care of our gut health seem much less daunting. It's all about those small but impactful changes, right?
Precisely. It's a journey, not a destination.
Well said. I think we've covered so much ground today. I'm feeling a lot more knowledgeable and, honestly, empowered to take control of my own gut health. Before we wrap things up, I'd love to hear your final thoughts on this fascinating topic.
It's amazing how much we're still learning about the gut. Like, we're just scratching the surface of this inner world and how much it affects us.
It is. It's like we've had this secret superpower inside us all along, and we're just now figuring out how to use it.
Exactly. And it goes way beyond just, digesting food. A healthy gut, that's the foundation for feeling good, having energy, even, glowing skin, a good mood. It all ties back to that gut microbiome.
So basically, taking care of our gut is like taking care of, everything.
Pretty much. It all starts with, nurturing that inner garden, making sure those beneficial bacteria are happy and thriving.
And we've learned today that we actually have a lot of control over that, through the choices we make every day.
Absolutely. And that's empowering, isn't it? We're not just victims of our genes or our circumstances. We have the power to shape our gut health and in turn shape our overall well-being.
Totally. So what's your final piece of advice for our listeners? What should they take away from all of this?
I'd say don't get overwhelmed. It's not about being perfect. It's about progress. Start small. Make those simple changes we talked about, like swapping out sugary drinks for water, getting enough sleep, managing stress. Those little things, they add up over time.
Yeah, it's like instead of viewing it as this chore, this big to-do list, it's more like an act of self-care.
Mm-hmm.
We're taking care of ourselves, nurturing ourselves from the inside out.
Exactly. Treat your body with kindness. Give it what it needs to thrive. Your gut will thank you for it.
Love that. I think we've covered so much ground today, and I'm definitely walking away feeling more knowledgeable and definitely inspired to take better care of my gut.
It's been great talking with you.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the incredible world of gut health. We hope you'll learn something new today and feel empowered to nurture your own inner garden and unlock that potential for amazing health and well-being. Until next time, be well.